Well, one of the tools that I found that I've really enjoyed is called Replit. So Replit is a code, automa code automation building tool where you don't really have to know a lot about coding. For basic applications, obviously, if you want to build more complex applications, then it will take some understanding knowledge, at least how to code and architect the systems. But in conjunction, if you use it with in conjunction with the new model from OpenAI that's called O3 Mini High specifically, it's available for Plus subscribers and Pro. So the Plus is obviously what. All right. There we go. So you have free subscription, Plus, and Pro. On Plus subscription, which is $20 a month, you do get access to O3 Mini and O3 Mini High. So High is the model that has the high reasoning enabled. So it takes a little bit more time for it to come up with an answer, but the answer is supposed to be a lot more accurate, specifically for coding and problem solving or any STEM type tasks. So really excited about this. I was able to make some of the progress on some of the application that I'm building with this particular model a lot faster, so which is very exciting. And so I use it in conjunction with Replit. So Replit itself is the app building tool, which for now uses Claude 3.5 Sonnet model V2. It's not as great. It does make a lot of mistakes. It's not as great as reasoning. And they do make it available in a couple of different ways. So they do have this agent. So agent is responsible for building basically higher complexity features. So it does iterate over some of the ideas. It talks to this other sort of sub-agent. It takes quite a few iterations for it to get something done, but it does it by itself, and eventually tells you that, hey, I built something, go check it out. Now, it's great at starting or bootstrapping something very fast. It does a decent job, especially if you don't know all of the latest frameworks for, let's say user interface building or whatever, right? So like in my case, what I did is I used the agent to set up a basic scaffolding for the website. It created essentially a structure, created a backend database, uses Postgres database. Again, I can go to explore this entire database with all the tables that it created for me. It took me quite a few iterations to add everything that I needed. And then I iterated over some of the features. So built this website. So the website is basically does some of the processing of the D documents, allows you to essentially take the text from the D documents and parse it, create a basic UI where you can see what was parsed available, and allows you to then plot the easements from the D document on the map. Why did I decide to do this? Let me show real quick the purpose of this. So I myself ran into problem with some of the deed documentation, specifically understanding the where the easements go on a particular property when I was buying a house. So one of the things that the specific problem that I ran into, so let's say you get, let's say in the deed document, something like an easement, and the easement will have a bunch of coordinates like this, with bearings, distances, arcs, radiuses, etc. So in order for you to understand what it actually means, you have to essentially plot it on the map. Usually the surveyors do this. So I went to a surveyor to ask like, hey, I have this, and I have several pages of this type of text in my deed, right? So which kind of plots different things. So I went to a surveyor and asked like, hey, how much is going to cost me to just understand what these actually mean. I don't want you to build like a full-fledged map, which they usually do, and do like precise calculations to point out like where those things are. And the surveyor told me, it's like, hey, actually, I'm gonna charge you anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000 depending on the size of the property, and it's gonna take me probably a couple of weeks because I'm super busy and to get out to your property, and maybe a full day to do all the measurements, and then another couple of weeks to build the document for you. So not only cost a ton of money to do it, but also it takes a lot of time to do it. So one of the things I did that same evening, I created a short script just to scan those, write a conversion. Basically, I use the basically taking the set of those coordinates and converting them into a latitude, longitude array that I then can paste into a different tool that will plot it on the map. And then, so that was very useful. So it allowed me to at least understand what is going on with my deed and approximately see what those paths are. I didn't need like a precise map. And I didn't definitely want to pay $3,000 to $5,000 or wait for that to happen 4 months. So that took me, I don't know, just a few hours to put together. Obviously, it was just a script running, and then copy pasting a lot of manual work. And then after some time, I decided, like, well, I may as well to build an app if it's such a big deal. I did a little bit of user study from individuals that I know here in the areas, if it's going to be useful. A lot of people do use the app called Langlide, which is a cool app, but it doesn't have this particular functionality. So it does have a lot of integrations with the county data and the GIS, but it doesn't allow you to parse the documents and plot the easements on the map. So anyway, so this is what I did. As you can see, the website, the quality that was built is amazing. So all these visual effects, in fact, what you can do is you can tell the agent, say, hey, here's the website I have in mind for the design. Can you build something similar for me? It will go analyze the website that you like, the design, the features, and will essentially create a mock or scaffolding based on that for your project, which is amazing. So in my case, I gave him a slight prompt. It's like I want to have this 3 different plans: free, pro, and enterprise. Obviously, this is just fake prices here, so this is not hooked up to the actual billing management yet, but the design looks fantastic. I personally, I'm not a designer. I mostly spend my time doing a lot of backend work, so it would have taken me a lot of time to put something like this together. Anyway, so like if you want to log in, I have account creation, I have the text message integration with Twilio that actually works. The only thing is Twilio now requires for text messaging the full-fledged website with privacy policy and all that in order to approve that, but I did test it, so it does show up in the Twilio console that, hey, this is the message that goes out. But because the website is not live, they can't complete the verification process. But anyway, so I already have the account. I can just go ahead and do this. And one of the things that works really well here is, again, it builds all this scaffolding, created all of the sections for the website, and the main one obviously is the one that is the core of the project. So where I can go ahead and I can upload the document. Let me just drop a document here that I wanted to process. I'm going to upload it. So now we see the document is here. So the process portion is where it analyzes the essentially the content of the document, converts that text using it's called OCR or image recognition, and converts it into the structured data. So I'm going to click process. So the document was processed. So it found in the document 4 different easements, right? And I don't have the feature right now to show exactly what those coordinates look like, but maybe it's something that we can explore doing this. But anyway, so what it does is essentially extract that information. So I have the map integration with Google. I have the Google account. So it also helped me create the Google integration, something that I didn't have to spend a lot of time understanding the API. So read the API documentation. So it basically said, hey, this is how it needs to be done. And literally like 10 minutes later, it's working. So in here, what the document says, basically, here's the beginning point. So this is one of the things that I still haven't figured out how to do it, but eventually we're probably going to be able to solve this. But this is one of the things where we still need the user input. Basically says, hey, there's a switchback, horseshoe-like curve on the road. Pick that, drop a pin, and this is where the easement starts, right? And so if I actually zoom in, I can see that this some GIS data for whether I think those are property boundaries here. But anyway, so I'm going to drop the pin here and calculate the easement. And if I zoom out, so this is how the easement goes. So basically, hey, here's the road. And if I turn the satellite map, you can see that. So it kind of marks here a little bit. There's a little bit of an offset here because of the geometry, the changes in altitude, and how the bearings and distances are calculated when there is a change in altitude. So it's not 100% precise, obviously, because you have to be on the land. You have to use the measuring instruments to get the more precise information. But this is basically a rough approximation of what that document contains. So for that particular easement. So anyway, so that's great. So let's say now if I want to, and by the way, all of those buttons are wired up, so which is kind of amazing, and it doesn't take a lot of effort to do it. Obviously, you have the entire project available, so if you want to kind of explore or make changes yourself, you can. It's integrated with Git. It has actually a lot of integration with a variety of different tools, which is amazing. Obviously, storage, integration. Oh, one of the things that was very interesting, it did implement a full authentication mechanism with role management, etc. So which was fantastic, and it didn't take me a lot of time as well. It did take me about an hour, maybe a little bit more, to troubleshoot and make sure that all of the token parameters are being passed correctly, so there's no loss of token. I'm using JWT token management framework, and it works really well here. And it does work across the devices, so you can start your project, log in, and log in for multiple devices, and you can still have access to your account. Anyway, so again, you have access to the entire code. You can make changes to it. It does integrate with GitHub. If you don't know any commands, you can ask the assistant. So the assistant part here is focusing on smaller feature iteration, smaller help. Like for example, where do I have Twilio integration? So I temporarily disable the Twilio integration here, but so I don't waste my money as I'm testing the project and working through it. Because every time I send a text message, I actually am being charged for the text message. So anyway, yeah. So, but as you can see, it tells me like, hey, based on the code base, the tool integration is in this particular file. Here's the basic implementation of it, and you can actually go and explore that place here. Anyway, you also have access to shell. You can access to the processes that are running on the server. You have this networking tab. You can see all the output from what's happening. You can log the data. You can integrate with telemetry like Datadog or I'm not sure about Splunk. It does have the Datadog integration that I've ran into. But anyway, so that's That's what it is. Yeah, as you can see, there's Git as well. But anyway, so let's do something more interesting. So let's say I do want to be able to um, save all of the calculated easements and have it on a maybe an expandable um, let's say bar on the bottom right here of the uploaded document and basically be in a single array, and then I can use it to plot on the map. So let's try to do that. And again, with the agent, as the code gets more complex, it goes more and more on tangents. So, at some point, I am switching more to assistant. And again, even with assistant, with the more complex code, I have to switch back to the L3 L3 model here with ChatGPT. But let's try to do it. So let's start with assistant first, see if it's going to be able to do it. If not, we'll switch to agent. And if it's close enough with assistant, then we can use the for any corrections, we can even jump back to the ChatGPT and try to fix it. So let's say I would like to um, aggregate all of the easement coordinates in a single let's say collection for a document. Let's do this. I'd like to aggregate all of the easement coordinates in a single collection of 4 documents. And let's just say, and display it in a collapsible section in the project card under the uploaded document. So basically, just kind of whatever the easement path is, calculate it on a map dialog. I would like it to be returned back to the project card and add it to that section to the okay. So let's try that, see if it's going to be able to do it. All right, so I paused the recording for a little bit, so it keeps crunching out the code here, thinking through all the files. Um, and it should create APR for you to review, which is great because the agent doesn't do it. So the agent essentially works on more complex features and it reviews those sort of in real time. And essentially, it does create the PRs in the background and commits those changes, but it doesn't really show to you, and you don't have a way to review it. I tried it; it didn't work. So maybe there's a way that I'm aware of, but Assistant is the one that does that. So generated 4 changes in the 4 different files. So let's take a look. So again, you get this standard sort of diff experience where it shows all those changes. It doesn't look like those changes are actually sufficient. I can see that right away, but let's see. This looks very, very basic. So it does have this project card collapsible thing. It does add it here. Well, let's go ahead and try it. If it doesn't work, we'll try the agent next. All right. All right, now let's see if the O3 mini high is going to be able to solve this problem. So I'm just going to explain what the problem is, and we'll try to pass it the code. Yeah, unfortunately, this model is not integrated with Replit yet. I did talk to their customer service, and they said that they're considering it, but obviously haven't given any dates out yet. So, but anyway, hopefully they're going to be able to integrate it directly with Replit, and then it's going to be a lot easier to work with. But over the course of this project, I was able to solve a number of problems using O3 Mini High that the standard models that are provided with Replit were not able to solve those problems. So like in this case, Here's some misconfiguration in the server routes, and I'm just going to explain what the problem is, and we'll try to see if it's going to be able to solve it. And again, the ChatGPT o3 Mini High was able to save the day here after a couple of iterations. So I was able to find an issue, fix it. I updated the code. As you can see, here's the track record of a couple of commits. And yeah, so let's try it out. Let me pull the document here and upload it and try to parse it. So I'm just going to upload it. So here's the document. I'm going to process the document. So, okay, so it extracted the all of the easements. The reason I'm picking this one because it has the larger path and it's kind of more interesting to work with. All right, so we need to drop the pin. Again, I'm just gonna look exactly at the GIS data here where the property boundaries are. We're just going to calculate the easement path here. You can see it goes along that road. Again, satellite imagery shows that as well. So it's pretty well aligned. I mean, it's a little bit off here, obviously, but again, we don't have the specific measuring instruments. This is just an approximate math here. So saving it, and boom, it's saved. And it pulled all of those calculated coordinates here, which is not bad. It did take a little bit of time to fix it, and Replit wasn't able to fix it, find the issue. So, so it struggled here, as you can see. Here is some of the history here that I have. But this is where ChatGPT o3 Mini comes to the rescue. You do have to provide the reference to the related files where the logic lives, and it's able to find the issue. Sometimes you do have to debug it yourself because it just gets lost in the all the dependencies. But once you find the right dependencies and what things are, and you provide enough of the context for ChatGPT, it's able to solve it. Obviously, once it's integrated directly here into an agent or assistant, as you can see here, it's running on Claude 3.5 Sonnet v2 model. So once you have a way to select a different model here, then it's going to be a lot better. Hopefully, they're going to integrate the one soon. That's what I think I heard from the customer support. And then obviously o3 is something that they're looking at as well. All right, well, thank you so much. That was just a very short video just to kind of show the capabilities of Replit and some of the new models that were implemented by OpenAI. I think they're fantastic. They're able to go through some of the complex problems, specifically with like debugging, especially things that you may not know very well from the coding perspective, maybe some of the frameworks, and you don't have really time to spend to figure out how to connect those frameworks. So this is you know, one of the ways to do it. All right, thanks, and see you later.